Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, revered worldwide as Mahatma Gandhi or the Great Soul, remains one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Born on October 2, 1869, in Porbandar, Gujarat, he led India to independence from British rule through a unique philosophy of nonviolence, ahimsa, and truth, satya. His methods inspired civil rights movements across the globe, from Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States to Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Gandhi's life was a testament to the power of moral courage over physical force. Early life and influences. Gandhi was born into a modest Hindu family of the Vaishya, merchant, caste. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, served as Diwan, chief minister, of Porbandar and later Rajkot. His mother, Putlabai, was a deeply religious woman whose piety and fasting rituals left a lasting impression on young Mohandas. As a child, Gandhi was shy, ordinary in studies, and painfully honest. At the age of 13, he was married to Kasturba Mukherjee, also 13, in an arranged child marriage common in 19th-century India. The marriage lasted 62 years until Kasturba's death in 1944 and produced 4 sons. In 1888, at age 18, Gandhi sailed to London to study law at University College London. The 3 years in England exposed him to Western ideas, vegetarianism, which he adopted after initial struggles, and the writings of thinkers like Leo Tolstoy, John Ruskin, and Henry David Thoreau. He was called to the bar in 1891 but returned to India feeling directionless. The turning point, South Africa. Gandhi's real transformation occurred not in India but in South Africa, where he arrived in 1893 to work as a lawyer for a Gujarati merchant. On his very first train journey to Pretoria, he was thrown off a first-class compartment at Pietermaritzburg because of his skin color. This humiliating incident became a defining moment. Instead of returning to India, Gandhi stayed and fought racial discrimination. Over the next 21 years, he developed the philosophy of satyagraha, literally, truth force, or non-violent resistance. He organized the Indian community against discriminatory laws such as the Asiatic Registration Act. In 1899, during the Boer War, he formed an Indian ambulance corps to support the British, hoping it would earn Indians equal rights. When rights were denied, he intensified his campaign. Gandhi established 2 communes, Tolstoy Farm and Phoenix Settlement, where he experimented with simple living, manual labor, and education. By the time he left South Africa in 1914, he had become a seasoned leader and a transformed man. He had given up Western clothes for simple Indian attire, embraced celibacy, brahmacharya, and committed himself fully to public service. Return to India and rise as a leader. Gandhi returned to India in 1915 at the invitation of Gopal Krishna Gokhale. He spent the next few years traveling across the country to understand its realities. In 1917, he led his first major satyagraha in Champaran, Bihar, helping indigo farmers exploited by British planters. Success in Champaran was followed by the Kheda Satyagraha in Gujarat, 1918, and the Ahmedabad mill strike, establishing him as a national leader. The Rowlatt Act of 1919, which allowed detention without trial, and the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Amritsar, where British troops killed hundreds of unarmed civilians, radicalized Gandhi. He called for the non-cooperation movement in 1920. Indians resigned from government jobs, boycotted British courts and schools, and refused to pay taxes. The movement united Hindus and Muslims through the Khilafat issue but was called off by Gandhi in 1922 after the violent Chayuri Chowra incident, where a mob killed 22 policemen. Gandhi believed the nation was not ready for non-violence. The Salt March and civil disobedience. In 1930, Gandhi launched the most iconic campaign of his life, the Dandi March. On March 12, he set out from Sabarmati Ashram with 78 followers on a 240-mile march to the Arabian Sea to make salt, defying the British salt monopoly. The march galvanized the entire nation. Millions broke the salt law, leading to mass arrests. The British eventually invited Gandhi to the Round Table Conference in London in 1931, though little progress was made. Gandhi continued to fight untouchability, calling Dalits Harijans, children of God, and campaigning for their temple entry and rights. He fasted multiple times, both for communal harmony and against social evils. His disagreements with faster-growing radical leaders like Subhas Chandra Bose highlighted his insistence on nonviolence even as World War II approached. Quit India and the final struggle. In August 1942, with Britain weakened by war, Gandhi launched the Quit India movement with his famous "Do or Die" speech. The British responded with mass arrests, including Gandhi and the entire Congress leadership. Violence erupted across the country, but the movement kept the demand for complete independence alive. Gandhi's health deteriorated in prison. His wife Kasturba died in February 1944 while detained with him at Aga Khan Palace in Pune. Released in May 1944, Gandhi continued working for Hindu-Muslim unity as communal riots intensified. Partition, independence, and assassination. The path to independence in 1947 came at a terrible cost. Gandhi opposed the partition of India into Hindu-majority India and Muslim-majority Pakistan, but the Muslim League under Muhammad Ali Jinnah and mounting violence left Congress leaders with little choice. When independence arrived on August 15, 1947, Gandhi was in Kolkata fasting for peace rather than celebrating in Delhi. In the months that followed, he walked through riot-torn areas in Bengal and Bihar, urging reconciliation. On January 30, 1948, at Birla House in Delhi, Gandhi was assassinated by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu nationalist who blamed him for being too soft on Muslims. Gandhi's last words were, "Hey Ram, O God." Legacy. Gandhi did not live to see the full fruits of freedom, but his legacy is immense. He proved that moral force could defeat an empire. His principles influenced the American civil rights movement, anti-apartheid struggle, and countless peaceful protests worldwide. The United Nations observes October 2 as the International Day of Nonviolence. Critics argue Gandhi was inconsistent. His experiments with celibacy, views on caste, which evolved over time, and occasional praise for certain British institutions have drawn scrutiny. Some modern commentators question whether nonviolence alone would have succeeded without the weakening of Britain after 2 world wars. Yet his core message remains powerful. Real change comes from transforming the self and winning over opponents through love and truth rather than hatred. Gandhi's simple life, spinning khadi on his charkha, living in ashrams, and traveling third class, continues to inspire millions who seek ethical leadership in a world often driven by power and materialism. As he famously said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Today, more than 75 years after his death, Gandhi's ideals are as relevant as ever in addressing conflicts, inequality, and environmental crises. The small man in a dhoti and shawl who took on the mightiest empire of his time reminds humanity that the strongest weapons are not bombs or bullets, but courage, conviction, and compassion.